Gabby Blossom set to serve out of the right-hand corner, sending it over right to left, and we are underway here in Happy Valley. And it's received by Michigan and a free ball sent over by Hannah Grant. A quick set now to Caitlin Horde, who goes down the right side, and we're off and running. Penn State up with a 1-0 lead there. Just quick transition, getting Michigan out of system off the serve, and then a quick attack by Caitlin Horde. Back right center part of the service line, goes down the middle, and Merzik's there on the receive, and now a slide attack that time by Boney's, kept up by Hampton. Now Parker comes down the middle there, and she'll pick up the kill as it deflects off the block, and then off of Merzik out of the back row, ties it up at 5. She's got 11 service aces on the year to 44 service errors. And Rollins again picking up a nice receive there, setting up the Penn State offense. Over to Pritchard there, left side, deflected off the net for Michigan. Standing serve again, Rollins that time with a better receive, and now the attack over to Pritchard there. The tap at the left side, kept up by Murray. Tapped over and now kept over by Penn State, and Pritchard, there she goes again, cutting the lead down to 2. Pritchard back to serve out of the right corner. Sends the knuckle serve over, and Merzik's there on the receive. Now Robinson at the slide, blocked at the net by Rollins, but covered by Grant. Now from the back row comes Jones, and Hampton's there on the back right corner with a dig. Rollins from the left side goes cross court and catches that back right-hand corner, cutting the lead down to 1. She slotted in nicely for this Westeros squad. Is back to serve is Scotty Johnson, and there's Stark on the receive. Now Parker from the back row pushes it over, and Grant's there on the dig. Now Murray from the right side. Stark that time with the dig. Parker a roll shot over down the middle. It's kept up by Jones out of the back row, and now an attack from the left side by Merzik, and Hampton has to backtrack to get it. Now Rollins cross court from the left side, and that back right-hand corner is working for Penn State, and they're down only by 1, trailing 9-10. She's got a kill tonight. She came into tonight with 266, as there's Stark on the receive out of the back row. Horde comes down the middle, but Merzik's there on the dig, and now a set over to Jones. Left side, Stark out of the back row with another dig. It floats over the net, but tapped back over by Penn State. Now it comes back to their side, as it's a back set to Parker, right side, and gets it off the block and out of play, tying this one up at 11. Through this early doors of the first set, has Michigan up 13-11, as Hampton's there on the receive from Grant's serve, and now left side, Parker dug by Grant. Now left side for Michigan comes Paige Jones, and Hampton's there with a diving dig. Back over to Parker, a tap at the net, gets it down through the block after it ricochets off a couple of Wolverines, and for Johnny Parker, that's her 4th kill of the night. A standing serve sent over, and Rollins is there on the receive. The set over to Pritchard, left side, goes cross court. Jones with back row dig. Now Merzik sends it into the block of Holland and Blossom.
Long review. Now they're up 3 scores.
Johnson goes down the right side. Rollins there with the dig, and now Rollins has the kill there in that left corner in front of the Penn State bench. Goes cross court with a dipping down serve as Paige Jones is there on the receive, and now Jones with the back row roll shot kept up by Stark. Now Rollins going cross court again, but Jones reads it perfectly. Now it's set over to Murray left side, and Kendall Murray, what a start she had.
Kendall Murray is doing a great job filling in for her.
Merzik there on the serve. It's kept up by Rollins on the left side. Rollins comes again from the left side and finding that back right corner on that cross court attack. Heads back to serve. At the right corner going cross court. Merzik's there on the receive. Now Jones from the left side. Tipped at the net, kept up by Stark. And now the pass over to Rollins again. Hannah Grant with a nice dig. It comes back over to the Penn State side, though, as Horde comes down the middle through the block, and the lead's down to 1. Trailing 18-19 now for Penn State. Blossom out of the right corner again. Merzik there, able to keep it alive. Now Jones sends it into the block, but it's covered that time by the Wolverines and Scotty Johnson. Jones will try again, but Hampton's there with a nice cross-court dig. Rollins this time switching up and going down the left side. Just joining us, I'm Matt Scouser. Joining alongside me, Jack McCune and Gabby Blossom set up here in the right corner, sending it over right to left for Penn State, and Merzik's there on the receive. Now Paige Jones from the left side picks it through the block, and Michigan now out of the timeout stops that 3-0 scoring run from Penn State, and they take the 20-19 lead. Someone who's played well for Michigan, Kendall Murray, she's back to serve, but Hampton's there with a nice receive. Horde pushes it over, but Murray's there on the dig. Now Merzik from the back row sends it down the middle, out of reach for Adana Rollins, and it's a 22-20 Michigan lead. She's set up right down the middle for the Wolverines. She'll send it over left to right down the middle, and Hampton's there on the receive. Now Parker going cross court. Merzick with a nice sliding dig. Now Paige Jones from her left side into the block there. Caitlin Horde and Johnny Parker combine that time, back within one. Allie Hollins checked in, replacing Caitlin Horde as Jenna Hampton's back to serve out of the right corner for Penn State. Down the middle, it's received by Grant. Now Paige Jones going cross court from the left pin. Hampton's there. Now Pritchard from her own left side. Grant's there with her dig. Now Jones gets it through the block, tipped up, and Blossom's there. Now Hampton with a pass over to Parker. It's into the block, kept up by Rollins on the cover. Now Pritchard trying to go cross court. And it's out of play there, makes it 23-21. Starks come in and replaced her as Jones sends it right down the middle there. But here comes Allie Holland. And Allie Holland putting her name on the score sheet there with her first kill of the night, has Penn State back within one. Here is Rec Hall trying to get in their head here. The standing serve from Humphrey gets over, and Rollins is there on the receive. Now a back set over to Parker, right side. And a nice dig by Jones out of the back row. It's set to Merzick. And there's the set one victory as Jess Merzick gets it through the block and out of play after it deflected off of Allie Holland's arms. And it's a 25-22 set one victory for the Wolverines. Set up down the middle. Sends it down the middle, left to right. Hampton there with the receive. The set over to Rollins from the left side. And there goes Adana Rollins again, her seventh. Now Johnson from the left corner again. Stark with a better receive that time, and now it's over to Rollins. Going cross court there. It deflects off Grant. Racing back is Jones. She won't get there. Merzick set up again in the left corner. Goes cross court. Horde's there that time with the receive. And now Horde with the attack gets it deflected at the net, but Merzick there with the dig and a setter dump that time. A 13-9 Wolverine lead as Hannah Grant back to serve again. Parker's there on the receive that time. It's set over to Stark on the left side. A roll shot over, kept up that time by Scotty Johnson. Now over to Paige Jones, blocked at the net, kept alive, and now here comes Merzick from the back row down the middle. Rollins is there with a dig. It's dumped down by Parker, and there's a big point there for Penn State. Going cross court, Merzick there on the receive. Set over to Paige Jones, left side, blocked at the net, covered by the Wolverines, and Merzick will send that one out of the back row. Rollins comes over with the dig. Back set over to Parker, right side, taps it at the net. A pancake dig by Grant is kept up by the Nittany Lions, and Stark sends the roll shot over, and it'll work out there as Scotty Johnson not able to get back in time or keep it up as high as she would have liked. And
coming into this one, I'd think that, Penn State would be the more confident team. Michigan is more confident right now.
Michigan has Penn State out of system again there as Stark sends the free ball over. Now setting it up, Scotty Johnson. Boney on the slide attack there. Hampton keeps it up. Now Rollins from the back row. She rifles it right down the middle here for Penn State. Pushes it down the left side. Murray there on the receive. Now another slide from Boney. Rollins with the dig, but it's an overpass for Penn State. Now Merzick. Hampton's there, but it floats back over. A joust at the net. Falls back on Michigan's side. Gabby Blossom has tied it up at 15.
Blossom showing off her athleticism, able to win that right there.
Menger with another serve down the middle. Merzick there. A setter dumped read perfectly by Hampton. Now it's over to Stark, and Penn State has the lead. Up 16-15. Set up in the left corner. She's able to do so as Grant there with the receive. Now the set over to Merzick, and Stark with a nice dig out of the back row. Parker, a roll shot from the 3-meter line, tipped at the net. Now it's set over to Merzick, left side. Parker's there with a dig. Blossom tries the setter dump. It's tipped up at the net. And now Merzick will try again from the left side, tips the tape, and Hampton with another amazing dig. Rollins here. Picks up the kill, goes down the left side. It tips off a diving Paige Jones, and Penn State up 18-16. All night so far. Humphrey goes down the middle. Hampton's there on the receive. It's set over to Rollins, who taps it at the left side. It's a joust at the net, and that time the joust is won by the setter for Michigan, Scotty Johnson. Tied up at 18 now. Michigan's responded here. Brooke Humphrey back to serve. Hampton there with a diving receive. It's set over to Rollins. Left side, goes cross court. Allie Holland now set up in the left corner. Going cross court, it's tipped up by Murray. That was most likely gonna fly out of the back row. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and it pays off for Penn State there. They're up 20-18. She had the service issue just there. She goes right back at Murray, but Merzick steps in to keep it up. Paige Jones from the back row, and Angelina Stark with her dig there, but Gabby Blossom, she tries to set her dump again, and that time it pays off. Robert Morris, but we're back underway as Allie Holland sends it over right to left out of the left corner there. A little trouble again on the receive from Murray, but it comes back over to the Penn State side. Rollins here from the left side off of Murray, and Donna Rollins picks up her 12th kill of the night. Set up in the right corner. She pushes it down the middle. Starks there on the receive. A quick set to Horde. A hitting error there by Caitlin Horde. A rare miscue by her. In the right corner, sending it over left to right is Scotty Johnson. It's received by Donna Rollins. Now it's set over to Rollins where it's blocked at the net. And right at a timeout, Michigan back within one.
After she had that one mishap earlier.
Johnson again with the serve, sent over, and Hampton's there on the receive. And now out of system are the Nittany Lions as Rollins has to send a free ball over. A quick set to Robinson, and Jess Robinson, she was all set to go for that one, but sent it straight into the net there. And now Gabby Blossom back to serve, set up in the right corner for Penn State. Pushes it down the right side, Paige Jones falling back, but able to keep it alive as Kendall Murray goes cross court. Hampton's there with the dig. A joust at the top of the net there as Robinson able to push it through, gets the tip off of Horde, sends it out of play, and Michigan just down one, trailing 22-23. Back to serve Jess Merzick for Michigan, goes cross court. Starks there on the receive. A quick set here to Horde, goes right at Hannah Grant, but she's able to keep it alive. Jones pushes it down the left side with the roll shot. Blossom's there, and now Parker left side tipped to the net, but Grant comes racing in to keep it alive. Now from the back row comes Merzick, and she pushes that too far to the right, putting Penn State on set point here, up 24-22. Clips the tape, it's kept up by Merzick, comes back over, dumped down by Horde, and it'll be a error there called on Michigan, giving the point to Penn State, and it's a set 2 victory. They'll take it by a score of 25-22. Back to serve for Penn State. She's set up in the left corner. Gets it over. Grant there on the receive. A back set now to Boney on the slide there, and Hampton's there with a great dig on the near side. Rollins there, sends it into the tape, but it gets over. Now Merzick from the back row. Rollins with a nice dig. Blossom with a pass over to Parker. Right side goes cross court. Murray there on the dig. Now it's set over to Paige Jones, tipped at the net, and Rollins dives into the air to keep it up. Stark blocked at the net there, Jackie Boney. As back to serve is Brooke Humphrey for the Wolverines, set up right down the middle. The standing serve goes over left to right. Rollins there on the receive. Now Stark gets tipped at the net there, picking up a kill for her. As now Scotty Johnson heads back to serve for the Wolverines. She's set up in the right corner, does a couple of dribbles with the ball. Now the left-hand serve, sent over, and Hampton's there out of the back row with the receive. Set over to Rollins, left side, blocked at the net, but covered by Hampton and the Nittany Lions. Now Parker taps it over at the right side into the middle of the court. Jones up to 12 kills now on the night. Merzick goes at Stark again, received that time, and now it's a quick set to Horde one more time. Doesn't catch it cleanly. Now here comes Kendall Murray, right side, blocked at the net. And Caitlin Horde gets going that time. Caitlin Horde and Donna Rollins combined that time. We're tied back up at 10. Hannah Grant now back to serve for the Wolverines, set up in the left corner. Float serve goes dipping down, but Stark able to serve it, and Caitlin Horde, she caught that one cleanly from the middle. There was no stopping that one for Hannah Grant. We're tied up at 11. Set up in the right corner, goes cross court. Rollins there on the receive on the right side. Now a quick set to Horde. She catches the back line, goes right down the middle. Allie Holland back in. She replaces Horde there as Hampton sends the serve over from the left corner. Now from the left side attack comes Paige Jones. It's deflected at the net. Now it's Allie Holland that time with the attack, but blocked at the net and covered by Penn State. Now Stark, the left side swing, kept up by Merzick out of the back row, and here comes Jones, the running shot there. And there's an error that time by Paige Jones. She seemed to have been doing so well here to start set number 3, but an error that time gives Penn State the 13-12 advantage. As back to serve goes Paige Jones for the Wolverines. She had a service ace earlier in this set. And Rollins is that there with the receive that time. Here comes Johnny Parker.
Any fan here has certainly been in for a treat.
Robinson there with the attack from the right side. Blocked but covered. It comes back over to Rollins and Adana Rollins. And now back to serve. Scotty Johnson for the Wolverines. She's got 31 assists so far on the night. And there's Starks on the receive from the right corner serve. Now Rollins from the left side once again. Adana Rollins going cross court. Merzik out of the left corner sends it over there. A little trouble by Stark and a free ball sent over by Rollins. A quick set here to Jess Robinson, who gets it off Hampton, but kept alive by Johnny Parker, and a free ball sent over by Stark. It's over to Jones there. It's blocked at the net, but kept up by Horde. Over to Rollins here. Into the block and down goes Adana Rollins.
Jelena Stark as well.
Blossom out of the right corner. It's received by Merzik. It's set over to Jones on the left side. Stark there with another nice dig out of the back row. It's over to Rollins again, and there's kill number. If you're just joining us, I'm Matt Scowser, joining alongside me, Jack McCune and Gabby Blossom out of the right corner, sends it over and picks up a service ace for Penn State. Out of the timeout, not to start. Mark Rosen and the Wolverines wanted. Sending it over right to left for Penn State. She goes right back at Merzik that time. She's able to keep it up, and it's over to Paige Jones going cross court, but Hampton there. Over to Rollins. I mean, there's no stopping Adana Rollins right now.
First volleys after these timeouts.
Certainly has been as Hannah Grant out of the left corner. Comes over to Caitlin Horde down the middle. And now Beals out of the right corner. Goes cross court right at Rollins. She's there on the receive. And now here comes Caitlin Horde trying to go down the right side there. And slices it just a little bit too much there.
Yeah, recently Horde has been a little more selective. I think she should just go back to her strength, which is just pounding it down Michigan's throat.
Beals there, sent over. Hampton on the receive. It's over to Stark, left side. Nice dig out of the back row by Merzik, and now Jones will push it down, and she'll pick up a kill there. Adana Rollins not able to keep it alive in Michigan now. Coming out of the timeout. And the right hand serve sent down the middle. Hampton a little trouble on the receive. It comes back over. Paige Jones with a swing, but it comes back to Michigan. Now Jones one more time. Kept up by Blossom. Over to Stark, left side. Hannah Grant there with that cross-court dig. Back over to Jones, left side. It's into the block. It's kept up by Parker. Now it's set back to Parker, right side. Beals there with the cross-court dig. Now Merzik out of the back row, sent into the block of Horde. And tripping down there was Gabby Blossom on that attack there.
All of a sudden, it seems that Michigan has the confidence on their side.
Beals sends it over again. A little trouble again for Hampton, but here comes Parker down the middle. Hannah Grant with a nice dig. Over to Jones, 10-foot line. Blocked at the net, but it sends out of play. Michigan just trailing by one, down 22 to 23 as Beals goes at it again. Rollins that time with the receive. Over to Stark, left side. Tipped up at the nets, kept alive by Johnson. Over to Jones, left side. Blocked that time, and that one's not out of play. Johnny Parker, Caitlin Horde. Jenna Hampton will be the one to serve out of the left corner. Goes cross court, Merzik there on the receive. A back set now to Boney on the slide there. It's kept up by Stark off the block. Now Stark with the left side attack. Kept up by Merzik out of the back row. Over to Paige Jones, the other left side into the block of Holland and Parker, but it's covered. And now another attack from Jones, blocked again and covered again by the Wolverines. Merzik that time with off speed. Kept up by Hampton, sliding in. Parker, back row attack there. It's tipped at the net there. Rec all fell deftly quiet as it looked like it sailed over the back line, but the back official calling the tip at the net. And Penn State, like they did in set number 2, takes set number 3 by a score of 25-22. For the Nittany Lions, set up in the left corner. Clips the tape and picks up a service ace. It's 8-6 Penn State now, Angelina Stark.
Jeez, not much you can do about that. That reminds me of like a friendly roll and around the basket in basketball or something like that, but still a great serve.
Little trouble again on the receive, that time by Merzik. And that time she's blocked at that, but it's kept up by Hannah Grant, and a free ball sent over by Paige Jones out of the back row. Over to Rollins, cross court, off of Hannah Grant, who on the dig, and it ricochets all the way back over the net and all the way over towards the cheerleaders on this right side for Penn State. The kill attempt, and that time certainly a case for there. Rollins picking up her 18th kill into 9-6 lead as Stark continues to serve. It's over to Merzick, left side. Hampton there with another great dig. Here's Rollins again, and there's kill number 19 from the left side for Adana Rollins. Might have to do with the rotation, and Brooke Humphreys back to serve once again. Here comes Rollins with a tap over. It's kept alive that time by Humphrey, and now Paige Jones out of the back row. A diving Johnny Parker, able to keep it alive. Rollins that time with the swing, and it pinballs around off a couple of Nittany Lions and pushed back over. Now Merzick left side, and Stark keeps it up again. Parker with the roll shot. Beals on the dig, and now a joust at the net between Johnson and Holland is won by Johnson. And Humphreys back to serve, set up right down the middle for the Wolverines. Received by Hampton, it's set over to Rollins, left side, off the block, and down for Adana Rollins. They had 12 last week against Illinois on Saturday, and now Scotty Johnson out of the right corner, sends it over. Stark on the receive, a quick set to Caitlin Horde, who comes right down Main Street, and it's 12-9 now. And Penn State back up 3 as Gabby Blossom's back to serve out of the right corner. Jones on the receive, and that time a missed time jump there by Jess Robinson, and Blossom once again out of the right corner. Goes down the middle, Grant there, diving to keep that one up. Now it's over to Kendall Murray from the left side. And Michigan struggling right now, and head coach Mark Rosen sees that, opts to take another timeout. Robinson only 2 kills on the night there. She had 1 right up until that moment as Merzick's back to serve out of the left corner. Here comes Caitlin Horde down the middle, and Caitlin Horde, she started slow, but she's certainly caught fire, and it's a 15-10 Nittany Lion lead as Horde picks up her 12th kill of the night. Grant is back to serve out of the left corner. Gets it over, Stark, able to keep that one alive. A back set now to Parker, right side. Merzick, nice dig there, a joust at the net. It's kept up by Parker, and down it falls. Johnny Parker, not exactly a joust, but she finds that, dumps it down, sees Michigan scrambling, and makes it a 16-11 Nittany Lion lead. Kendall Murray back to serve again. Goes down the right side, Stark's there. A back set now to Parker. Clips it off the tape, and down it falls. She's already got more in one night than she had on the season as Quinn Mengers in to serve. Right down the middle, she goes right at Murray on the right side. It's kept up, and here comes Merzick from the back line. She thought it was in, but the back official calls it out, and it's an 18-15 lead now for Penn State. As Paige Jones set up in the right corner, she sends that one over. Rollins a little trouble on the receive. Now Parker from the back row sends the roll shot over. Merzick now left side, and Merzick a little trouble again that time, not able to catch it cleanly. Angelina Stark out of the left corner, sends it over right to left. Back pass here to Merzick going cross court. Hampton's there on a nice dig again. Rollins left side, Murray can't control it, and for Adana Rollins, it's a new career high. Her 21st kill of the night. And now Scotty Johnson out of the right corner sends the left-handed serve at Angelina Stark. It's kept up now. Rollins from the left side. Nice dig by Hannah Grant. Now Merzick from the left side. We're tied up at 21. Jess Merzick. It's certainly been a fun one as Johnson goes down the right side again. It's a set over to Rollins. She taps to the net. It's kept up by Robinson. Now Murray going cross court. Stark has a little trouble on that dig. Blossom has to race out of bounds to keep it in. Now Parker goes cross court. Johnson keeps it alive. Murray goes into the scorer's table to keep it up, and a free ball sent over by Jones. A quick set to Caitlin Horde, who sends it right at Hannah Grant.
We've seen that a few times. Caitlin Horde.
Gabby Blossom now back to serve. Out of the right corner, she goes down the right side. Paige Jones keeps it up. Now the right side swing by Merzick, kept up by Blossom. Now Rollins into the block there, and we are tied once again at 22. Jess Robinson and Jess Merzick. Hampton there on the receive. It's set to Horde. Off the block, and down it falls, and Penn State up to 23-22 lead. And
Matt,
now, you go
I was going to say, we could get another 25-22 game here.
It's possible here as Rollins sends it over. Here comes Kendall Murray. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to get that 25-22 game as coming back in is Jackie Boney for the Wolverines as Hannah Grant's back to serve out of the left corner, going down the left side. It's kept up by Rollins. It's a back set now to Parker, right side, going cross court. Johnson there on the dig. Now Merzick out of the back row, into the block, and down it falls, and Penn State's on match point. Set up in the left corner. Rec Hall rises to its feet. Sends it right to left. Merzick on the receive. A back set now to Murray. Into the block, but it's kept up by Penn State. Now Stark from the left side ends it tonight. Angelina Stark from the left side dips it down in front of Jess Merzick.